Three classmates are having lunch in the school cafeteria and discussing whether schools should cancel weekend homework. They share different opinions about balancing academic learning, personal time, and students' overall well-being.
I honestly think schools should cancel weekend homework. After attending classes for 5 days, students need time to relax, spend time with their families, and enjoy their hobbies. Every weekend I plan to rest, but I always end up worrying about unfinished assignments. Instead of feeling refreshed, I start Monday feeling tired and stressed. I believe weekends should help students recharge so they can return to school with more energy and better concentration.
I understand your opinion, but I don't completely agree. Weekend homework gives students an opportunity to revise what they learned during the week. Sometimes classroom lessons aren't enough, especially for difficult subjects like mathematics or science. I remember struggling with algebra until I completed extra practice questions over the weekend, which really improved my understanding. Without regular revision, many students may forget important concepts before the next class.
I can see both sides, but I feel weekend homework often becomes too much. Besides schoolwork, many students already have sports practice, music lessons, or other extracurricular activities. Last weekend, I had several assignments from different subjects, and I couldn't even attend my friend's birthday celebration. When homework from every teacher adds up, students lose the opportunity to enjoy their personal lives and relax properly.
Exactly. I don't think weekends should only be about academic work. Students can learn in many other ways, such as reading books, helping their families, volunteering, or exploring personal interests. These activities also develop useful life skills and reduce stress. When we feel mentally refreshed, we usually perform much better during the following school week.
That's a good point. Instead of giving compulsory homework every weekend, teachers could provide optional revision exercises for students who need additional practice. They could also recommend online learning resources or conduct short review activities in class on Monday. This would allow students who want extra practice to continue learning without forcing everyone to complete the same assignments.
I think that's the best solution. Rather than completely removing or keeping weekend homework, the school could introduce a 1-month trial with optional assignments and then collect feedback from students and teachers. This approach would help the school understand whether students remain academically prepared while also enjoying a healthier balance between study and personal life. It seems like a fair compromise that benefits everyone.
Three students are discussing whether the university should extend the library's opening hours until midnight. They share different opinions about how longer hours could benefit students while also considering concerns about costs, security, and staff workload.
I strongly support extending the library's opening hours. During exam season, the library often closes before many students finish their work. Just last week, my group had to leave in the middle of an important project because the library closed at 10 p.m., and we had no choice but to continue working in my noisy dormitory. A quiet study environment helps students stay focused, especially those who learn better at night.
I completely agree with you. Some assignments, especially research reports and laboratory projects, take several hours to complete. I often struggle to finish my work before the library closes and end up studying in crowded cafes or my dorm room, where there are too many distractions. I also think the campus library is a much safer place to study late at night than locations outside the university. Many students have told me they would definitely use the extra study hours, particularly during midterm and final examinations.
I understand the advantages, but I also think we need to consider the practical challenges. Extending library hours would require additional staff, higher electricity costs, and stronger security arrangements. The university would also need to make sure students' belongings remain safe during late-night study sessions. Since the university reduced spending on some activities last semester, I'm not sure whether there would be enough funding to support these additional expenses.
Those are reasonable concerns, but I believe there are practical solutions. The university could hire part-time staff specifically for evening shifts instead of asking regular employees to work longer hours. Additional security cameras and guards could also improve safety. Many students are more productive at night, so providing a quiet study space during those hours would greatly improve their learning experience without affecting daytime operations.
That's a great idea. The university could even involve student volunteers in simple tasks like organizing books or keeping the study areas tidy, which would reduce staffing costs. Volunteers could receive community service credits or certificates in return. Before making a final decision, the student union could also conduct a survey to estimate how many students would actually use the library after 10 p.m. This would help the university plan the service more effectively.
After listening to both of you, I think extending the library's opening hours could be a good decision if it is planned carefully. With proper funding, part-time staff, improved security, and evidence that many students would benefit from the change, the proposal seems both practical and worthwhile. A trial period during exam season would be an excellent way to evaluate its success before making it a permanent policy.
Three students are discussing whether the university should extend the library's opening hours until midnight. They share different opinions about the benefits of longer study hours while also discussing concerns related to cost, security, and maintenance.
I strongly support extending the library's opening hours until midnight. During exam periods, many students are still studying when the library closes at 10 p.m. Just last week, my project group had to leave before finishing our presentation, and we continued working in my noisy dormitory where it was difficult to concentrate. A quiet study environment helps students stay focused and complete their work more efficiently.
I completely agree with you. Some assignments, especially research papers and laboratory reports, require several hours of uninterrupted concentration. I often find myself moving to cafes or other public places after the library closes, but those places are noisy and not always safe late at night. If the library remained open until midnight, students would have access to a comfortable and secure study environment.
I understand why both of you support the proposal, but I think we should also consider the practical challenges. Extending library hours would increase electricity bills and require additional staff, cleaners, and security personnel. The university would also need to protect students and their belongings during late-night study sessions. Since the university reduced funding for several activities last semester, I'm not sure whether it can afford these additional expenses. Before making such a decision, the administration should carefully evaluate the financial impact.
Those are valid concerns, but I believe there are practical solutions. Instead of asking existing employees to work overtime, the university could hire part-time evening staff or student assistants. Additional security guards and surveillance cameras would improve safety, while regular inspections could ensure the library remains clean and well managed. The university could even begin with a trial period during examination weeks to see how many students actually use the extended hours before making the change permanent.
That's an excellent suggestion. The student union could also conduct a campus-wide survey to understand students' needs before introducing the new schedule. Student volunteers could help organize study areas and receive community service certificates or leadership credits in return. This would reduce operating costs while encouraging greater student involvement.
After listening to both of you, I think extending the library's opening hours could be a very good idea if it is introduced with proper planning. A trial program, supported by part-time staff, improved security, and regular student feedback, would allow the university to evaluate both the costs and the benefits. If the results are successful, keeping the library open until midnight would create a better learning environment and provide valuable support for students, especially during busy examination periods. Three university students are discussing whether class attendance should be linked to final exam scores. They exchange different opinions about how attendance affects learning, while also considering fairness for students with personal or medical challenges.
I strongly support linking class attendance with final exam scores. Regular attendance encourages students to stay engaged and participate actively in classroom discussions. Last semester, one of my classes didn't have an attendance policy, and many students stopped coming. As a result, classroom discussions became less interactive, and even motivated students lost interest.
I completely agree with you. Many professors explain practical examples, case studies, and real-life situations that are not included in textbooks or lecture slides. Missing those sessions means losing valuable learning opportunities. Regular attendance also teaches responsibility and discipline, which are essential skills in the workplace. During my internship, my supervisor said that reliability and punctuality were just as important as technical knowledge. Building these habits at university prepares students for their future careers.
I understand both of your opinions, but I don't think attendance should directly affect final exam scores. Sometimes students miss classes because of illness, family emergencies, or part-time jobs, and they shouldn't be punished for circumstances beyond their control. Some students also learn more effectively by watching recorded lectures or studying independently at their own pace. If they can achieve excellent academic results through self-study, I don't think lower attendance should reduce their final grades.
That's a fair concern, but I believe the university can introduce flexible policies instead of removing attendance requirements completely. Students with valid medical certificates or genuine emergencies should receive exemptions. At the same time, Attending classes offers benefits that online recordings cannot fully replace, such as live discussions, group activities, and immediate feedback from professors.
Exactly. Perhaps the university could require students to maintain around 80% attendance instead of expecting perfect attendance. Professors could also upload lecture recordings and class notes so students who miss a few classes can catch up without falling behind. This system would encourage regular participation while still supporting students who face unavoidable difficulties.
After listening to both of you, I think that sounds like a balanced solution. Linking attendance with exam scores could work if the university allows reasonable exceptions for medical issues, emergencies, and other genuine situations. Combining an attendance requirement with online learning resources would encourage students to attend classes while ensuring that no one is unfairly disadvantaged. This approach would promote both academic responsibility and flexibility, creating a fair system for all students.
Three university students are discussing whether class attendance should be linked to final exam scores. They exchange different opinions about how attendance influences learning while also considering fairness for students facing medical, personal, or work-related challenges.
I strongly believe class attendance should be linked to final exam scores because attending lectures helps students stay engaged throughout the semester. Last term, one of my courses had no attendance requirement, and gradually many students stopped coming to class. As attendance dropped, classroom discussions became less interesting, and even active students lost motivation. I personally noticed that my grades were much higher in subjects where I attended every lecture because I understood difficult topics better and could immediately ask professors whenever I had questions.
I completely agree with you. Professors often explain practical examples, case studies, and additional information that cannot be found in textbooks or lecture slides. Missing those classes means missing valuable learning experiences. Besides improving academic performance, regular attendance teaches responsibility, punctuality, and commitment, which are important qualities in every profession. During my internship, my supervisor told me that employers value dependable people who consistently show up and participate actively. Developing these habits during university can make students more successful in both their studies and future careers.
I understand both of your opinions, but I still don't think attendance should directly affect final exam scores. Some students miss classes because of illness, family emergencies, or part-time jobs, and they shouldn't be penalized for situations beyond their control. Others learn more effectively by studying independently or watching recorded lectures at their own pace. If a student can master the course content and perform well in the final examination, I don't think their attendance alone should reduce their overall grade. Learning styles are different, and universities should recognize that.
That's a fair argument, and I agree that flexibility is important. Instead of removing attendance requirements completely, the university could introduce reasonable exceptions for students with medical certificates, emergencies, or other genuine circumstances. At the same time, classroom learning provides benefits that online recordings cannot replace, such as live discussions, teamwork, immediate feedback from professors, and opportunities to exchange ideas with classmates. These experiences help students develop communication and critical thinking skills beyond textbook knowledge.
I think a balanced policy would work best. For example, students could be required to maintain around 80% attendance, while professors continue uploading lecture recordings, notes, and learning materials online. This would motivate students to attend classes regularly while ensuring that those who occasionally miss lectures can still keep up with the course. Such a system would encourage responsibility without being too strict or unfair.
After listening to both of you, I think this balanced approach makes the most sense. Linking attendance with final exam scores can be beneficial as long as the university provides reasonable flexibility for genuine situations. Combining an attendance policy with online learning resources, medical exemptions, and an 80% attendance requirement would encourage students to participate actively while ensuring that everyone receives a fair opportunity to succeed. This approach would create a more supportive and effective learning environment for all students.